All right. And it's this time I was actually on time at 6 p.m. Unlike, well, the first time where I was late 30 minutes. So, um, yeah, I haven't changed much in terms of the stream and whatnot because I didn't have time and I was actually a bit lazy. But today I just came from my third driving lesson, like literally 15 minutes ago. So, um, yeah, just from there straight in here. And I can see two people are watching, so that's great. Hello, um, whomever you are. It would be great if we could have a conversation because this time, uh, hello, YNAP. Hello, yes. This time, I mean, I was planning to have a guest, but I didn't find one because I didn't look for one, so that's why I don't have one. So, how is your day going, YNAP? All good? Good vibes? How it should be, right? Your room looks kind of cool. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, huh? I'm doing great. The weather is very nice here. It's like 17 degrees Celsius. And very sunny, good weather, 3 days in a row or something. So, basically this entire I don't know if I wanna you're driving. Oh, hello, Mr. One of my best friends right there, Mr. Boogie Del. Where I'm from Romania, and actually I am in Romania right now. What about you, YNAP? Where are you from? And did you how long until you get there to Copenhagen? I'm asking for Boogie Del. He's on his trip from. Oh damn! You live in Dubai. That must be nice. I think that looks pretty cool. That place. I would like to visit that place once, but I think it's quite expensive, right? Even as a tourist and whatnot. Way too hot. Let's see weather Dubai. We have 23C right now. Wow, 32 tomorrow. You're gonna have 32, 33, then 34. Oh my dude. You need like AC there. Hello, Tox. Wait, are you the guy? Oh geez, dude. Hello. I haven't heard from you in like years. I remember 8 hours. Damn. That's a long way, but I'm pretty sure it's fun. I mean, you're here, so it must be fun. And Talks. Yeah, thanks man. I appreciate it. I remember I watched actually some very recent I mean recently I watched some very old videos and I could see you on the leaderboards and all that and in the chat and oh geez, the memories, man. Summer in Dubai. Oh yeah, that's true because now we have what? Um it it's yeah, April basically and it's 32. Geez. Well, that's desert, right? I mean, that's one of the things about Dubai. They said it's like amazing because they could create what it is today from just desert like sand. So it looks great. Hello Shannon. How are you, bro? Having a good day? Good weather? Pure sand. Yeah, it's amazing what they can do. Oh yeah, right. But my voice didn't change since, well, it didn't change. I guess just the microphones, but now I'm not using the same microphone as before. But I don't remember you hearing me talk. Oh, wait. I actually made a bunch of stupid videos about the game. Yeah, I remember now. I actually still have them. 1 a.m. for you? Well, I hope you're early onto the stream. We just started 5 minutes ago, and right now we get to see how everyone's day is. You know, the weather and the vibes, which should be only good and positive. And then we can start talking about, I don't know, some health stuff. That's the point. That's why I'm doing this, creating awareness of the importance. What games I'm playing right now? Oh wait, YNAB, you know me from Trove. What was your IGN? Because I don't remember. I remember Talks. I mean, he was crazy, very popular. BRXD. I remember something. BRXD. I remember something. It sounds familiar. I need to change something. And I don't play any games really. The Long Dark Survivor. Hello, sir. Very it's good if you have the words long and survivor in your name. Um, let me change something to this chat because it goes out too fast on the screen, and embed in stream. Okay, let's put this to supposedly 60 seconds. I think it was the default. And then we press X, and now I just need to refresh. Yay. No, it disappeared fast. Oh, now it should be working, hopefully. What do you do now if you are so introvert and everything the social word has to say you feel unauthentic and gaslight? I'm not sure I understand. Are you saying that you are introverted and that people are telling you you're not authentic? Or are you asking me about that? I'm not sure. Well, there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. So we have to make a difference there. Being alone would mean, to just be alone. Like right now, I'm alone in the room, but I'm not lonely, like in ratio with, for example, the chat, because there's something happening. And you can even be just in the mountains all by yourself with a book or doing nothing. Basically, you would be alone, but you could feel lonely or not. So maybe you mean you feel lonely. Could be both. Well, if you get too much peace and solitude, I think if you can practice solitude, I think that is a very good thing. That if you can do that, that's great. So props for being able to practice solitude, because it just helps a lot to just be with yourself. And well, you can do a lot of things if you're with yourself, but what are you gonna do? It would be very useful to just understand yourself more. You struggle with, sometimes I feel like just cut people off. Well, one thing I would like to say is that, I mean, I just said it about solitude. I think that's a great thing to have because a lot of people don't have that, and that's needed to for like self discovery. Usually, extroverted people, they're having issues with, being in solitude, and introverts being too much. So if we have like, introversion over here and extroversion here, naturally we are on one side of the other of this spectrum. But so you identify where you are, and the thing is, you're not like just fixed like that. If you're like naturally more introverted, that doesn't mean you're gonna be like that forever. Like, you're not doomed, you're not cursed. You can change, be more extroverted, or be in the middle, which is where you want to be always, in any like binary state of whatever, good, bad, uh, light, darkness, whatever, anything. You want to be as close as possible to the middle, and like never on the side. Same with, for example, um, well, anything that has an opposite basically. And you don't know what to say, so you don't say anything. Huh. Well, that could be just a lack of practice socializing. Because if you're naturally more introverted, then, well, you don't necessarily have too much experience in socializing with new people. Would probably, if you have like a very good friend, like a best friend, you can just talk so easy with them, right? So, but you just have to, well, practice with new people. But the thing is, it's okay to, I mean, you say that you don't know what to say, but it doesn't matter what you say. That's the thing. So let's say you say something really, whatever, really stupid. Let's say it's stupid. Would be stupid. It's subjective from whomever is making the judgment. That's an opinion. Um, it's not like it's stupid is not a fact. It's an opinion. So if you say something, then it depends whom you're saying to and all that. So you don't want to talk to people, well then just but actually, why not? I mean, are you sure that's exactly what you don't want? Or maybe imagine if you would know what to say, and you would say things, and if you would know, assume you would know what to say and everything would be great, would you like want to talk to people? Because in that case, um, I think your goal would be a different one. And on this topic seems to be, well, there's a couple of different things I would say in here. And I need to make these messages a lot longer, damn it. Yeah, so I'll see how this length works. But yeah, for everyone else, no, actually, let's see what kind of topic we are on right now. And how do you know you have a type of schizophrenia? Is that your own diagnosis, or did someone's professional told you that? I'm not questioning, I'm just curious. Right. Well, I'm not gonna contradict you on that because I am not a specialist by any means. I am just a person who likes to talk about health and why it's important. And what we're talking right now would be in the mental health kind of category, and and that's also a very, very huge part of being healthy. And it's always very, very complicated. Like everything is so complex and complicated. It's never simple as, you're thirsty, drink water. Even that sounds simple. It's very complicated. So so everything has a lot of variables, and it's never simple. So we want to when we learn, we want to learn to understand, not how it's in school, like to you know just take from this page onto another page. That's just practicing memory. That's not practicing understanding. Now, don't be sorry, man. It is hard to answer because it's not easy at all. It's not a simple. It's never. Nothing is ever a simple answer. Especially with anything that's actually a mental condition. It's very complex, and it takes a lot of, well, first of all, self-understanding and self-awareness to diagnose the situation. But a lot of the things that I will be promoting with my episodes here will be about very, very focused, especially on the mental health part, will be about how your own beliefs just create your reality and how crucial that is. And the thing is, a lot of people are not aware of this and the power of this and how it works and all that. But, with time and, when with more guests, with a lot of repetition, with some tiny practice, a bunch of books, and just some effort. And the most important thing is to just want. That's the first thing, because you cannot help a person that doesn't want to be helped. That's the first thing. It would be just a waste, to be honest, to try to help someone who doesn't want to be helped. It would be wasting your time and that person's time, because from their point of view, you're just like annoying, because they have decided they don't want to be helped. So they like, I don't like to say it like this, but they would play the victim card without knowing, because they gave up. And certainly I had moments in my life when I gave up. So I'm not here like, I don't want to really say that, oh, I've been to depression and I wanted to kill myself, and that is so sad. I think a lot of people felt like that at some point, but it's about, can you get back, find again something. Well, it's also about your beliefs. For example, if you believe you're not good at socializing, well, you're not going to be good at socializing, because that's the thing. And that's why this topic is actually very complex, because me staying here and just telling you just so simplified, it sounds like wizardry, and you would just, the instant reaction people have to this, it's like, this is bullshit. But it's very like complex. The entire thing is very complicated. It just sums into like such a, sounds very generic, right? But it is really that what you believe, that's exactly what, not necessarily that's going to happen, but that's basically what you want. if what you're thinking about and what you believe. Oh, I can totally understand that feeling of trying to not be fake or dishonest. But that, your answer, that trying to be fake, why would you be fake? Just, be yourself. Another one of those things that I don't like to say because it's so generic and you hear it all the time. But be yourself is actually, again, it's not just that simple. It's more complicated. People just say, oh, be yourself, because like people understand what that means because they tried to be themselves and they didn't get the results. Because, this, if you will be yourself, then you will get the same results, right? So it's not that you have to become someone else, is that you just have to like evolve, right? So you started as someone and then you changed because you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you were not the same person at all. Like, I can almost guarantee that you were not the same person. You had different beliefs, different environment, different situation, whatever. And if 5 years is not too long ago, then just try 10 years, for example. And now think 5 and 10 years in the future. Are you going to be the same person? Probably not at all. So then why focus? Like, we should focus on who we want to become. Like, not like who we are right now. Just understanding who we are right now helps to see who we want to become in the future, in whenever that's going to happen, right? Because it doesn't matter. That's the point. It doesn't have to be in 2 weeks. Like, you're not just going to get good at socializing. But if you want that, like to become good at socializing, then you in the future, to be good at socializing will mean that you will be not the same person. So it will be a different person. What if you don't know the other person isn't? The other person to be fake? Well, that depends what goal they have. Because, and also what definition of fake means for you. Because a lot of things people do, I mean, everything that people do is to fulfill a need and to like achieve a goal. And usually the goals are based on needs. So everything that people do is to fulfill some sort of a need. So it's again very complex, this thing with like if the person is fake or not. But if you assume, that's the thing, if you assume people will be fake, then most likely you will attract fake people, because you will be biased to notice just the fake people and focus only on that. And then, because that's how it works, that's why it's called, confirmation bias. It's that you will just observe the things that to make your belief stronger. That's the thing. So, but if you think the other way around, it's like people are not fake, people are authentic and honest and whatnot, then your brain is just gonna look for those things in the world. It's like it's gonna notice, it's gonna point out to you, oh, look at this person, very honest and blah blah blah, whatever you want. That's the thing. You're not gonna focus on what you don't want. You're gonna focus on what you want, which is honest people and all that stuff. So again, it's not that our thoughts will change the future. It's like you think of a car and then it just pops out of nowhere. It's not like that. It's about how you, like, what signals you send to your own mind and brain, and then it takes care of itself. So it's always a complicated matter. It's never, nothing is very simple. So that's one of the things I notice a lot It's that people simplify everything, like it, because they think they understand or they know how it works. Um, but it's never simple and it's never easy to understand. Some things are easy to do, but most things are very difficult to understand, like the entire picture, and not just see, just like this. But yes, mental health is a huge, huge part of health. Basically, I wouldn't know if it would be like 50-50. I don't want to make a percentage because then there's no point. But for sure, mental health affects your body and your body affects your mental health, so it's like a circle. So you want to take care of both of them, because it's like, well, it depends how you see it. For example, I sort of, for me, it helps to see the body as three components. It would be me, so like when you hear your thoughts in your mind, like that voice, you could say it's you, so it would be consciousness. And then there would be the physical body, and then it would be your brain, it would be the third component. So how I like to think of this is in terms of a computer. It's like, if you imagine, maybe I can just use paint over here, move this over and go like this. So if you imagine like let's just make here just the person, right? Yes, happy, has to be happy. No, that's whatever. It's a bandit. So the person is happy, and then you have here the monitor or whatever. So that's a monitor, like a user interface, and then you have here the big badass PC with a computer with RGB and cables. Yes. So this is let's just say here CPU, but this is like the computer. So the CPU would be the brain. The little guy here would be like the operator, which would be like your consciousness, and like the interaction between the user and the computer. So like literally what I'm doing right now, just using my mouse and clicking, basically clicking would be like a thought. So like I send a command to this. So right now if I hold and just go up, I sent a command and it's making like this line, right? So it seems very simple. I just do this command, but think about how complicated that is. Like the computer has to go through billions of things that happen and everything is connected, so it's very complicated. Moving this window around, minimizing it, that's like, it was just one click, so it was very simple, just a very simple instruction. But behind the scenes, the computer is processing like crazy. So the same way, that's how the human body works the same way. The human body works the same way. You send a command, and then your brain, subconscious, it does everything. You just do the commands. I'm gonna be talking actually a lot about this concept, because since people are watching on live stream, they most likely watch from a computer, and maybe they can understand what like a processor is. So that's how it like works. Like for example, if I want to lift my hand, I just decide, just lift my hand. But if you think about, if you break it down, what happens when you just lift the arm? It's so complicated. There's so many muscles working in such a like a very nice like very synchronized way, and at the right time and the right pressure, and it's so much going on, right? It's just the same as a computer. When you like open a window or a new tab, it's just so many things are happening. So that's why I say it's like a very easy way to understand how like a person would work if you divide it into three components. The the operator, and then you have the interface, and the processor, because the processor will be like the genius guy. Because if you know how to use a computer, it's like it's not you really who is doing anything. You're just sending instructions, and then the processor is doing for you. That's why it has like, that's why it can do so many things at once. That's the point. So that's why it's powerful, right? It's the same with the brain, but like the brain would be the absolute most complicated and best computer possible, that we are not like even remotely anywhere near to the power of a brain. Even a freaking baby, right? Like 1 year old has a better processing power than any computer on this planet. So seeing the things like this and understanding that it's not that simple, it helps, because then you become aware that you have a power over your brain and not the other way around. So like you send the instructions, and that's the thing, that the user like me, I could go right now and delete, just send to the computer, I would send the command, just delete very important files, and the computer would just do it, right? It doesn't care if it's good, bad. That's the thing. There is no morality there. It just does whatever you tell it to do. So that's the thing. That's what everyone is doing, like you are doing right now, and yesterday and tomorrow, and everyone. That's how it works. And then you become aware that the choice is in becoming aware of the instructions that you're sending, and then you take control, and then you send only what you want, not what you don't want, because that's what we do a lot. We just send and focus so much on what we don't want, and then basically what do we get back? We get back exactly what we requested, which is what we don't want, because that's what we are thinking of. So that's the thing. It's very easy if you just imagine it like this, this separation of three different things. And that's why, like, for example, the computer needs electricity. Like my computer, if it doesn't have enough power, then it's gonna run very poorly. If I give a command, it's gonna be executed like trash. So the same way, that's why we want to focus on our physical body to be healthy, because then, well, our processor brain equals brain would be very efficient and just better at processing the tasks and all that. Because as much as you think you are in control, you are not. Most of it, it's not you. It's like most of what you do, probably 90 something, I don't want to say necessarily a percentage, but most of what you do is automated. You don't think about it. When you walk down the street and you check your phone, you don't think about walking at all. And think about how complicated walking is. It's crazy complicated. It's so complex. Think about so many muscles. And then think about the deviation in the roads. And then think about, everything that you hear, and then everything that you see, and you're not aware of any of this, because it's not you who's aware of everything. It's like your brain, which would be your CPU, right? Who's monitoring everything, all your inputs. So that's why these are going to be some of the ideas I will be promoting a lot. Will be the just mainly in the just awareness of what we are currently doing. Because one of the beliefs that I will definitely promote will be that where you are today, and what you're having, and whatever your situation is, and everything, all the results that you have in your life, it's just your fault. It's nobody else's fault. And I will go as far as say that you wanted all of that to happen. Now you might say, well, I didn't want, let's say you had whatever, an accident or whatnot. You didn't want that to happen, but in a way you wanted. It's always complicated, and it's connected, and it's never easy, right? So to simplify this, it would be, I would say, just focus on what you want, not on what you don't want. So let's say you think that, or you believe that you are not good at socializing, then we have to stop thinking about what we're not good at and focus on what we want to be good at. So just flip it and make it in your advantage. And then basically the instruction you're going to send to your brain is going to be, we are good at socializing. And then your brain is going to be like, the fuck? Like, okay, I'm going to figure out how we are good at this. And then eventually it's going to come up with something. But this is one of the best things that I learned, is to not block it. Like, this was like, for me, it was a huge life changer, because I never believed that overthinking exists. Like, that concept, I didn't believe it existed, but it actually, now I believe. So my belief has changed from people are stupid because they don't think enough, and overthinking doesn't exist, because how can you overthink? I mean, just thinking more is better, right? So that's what I was believing before, because I was doing that. Yeah. And then I realized, well, through this book, one of my favorite books ever, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. He had, like, I remember in chapter 6, the first thing, and he talks about, like this highway. So to explain how it would be, it's basically, after you send an instruction to yourself, your brain, you don't want to do, you just want to let it just do the task you gave it, right? You don't want to just block it, because it's like, then you're gonna override, because you can always override. So let's say you want to delete some files, so you send that instruction, right? And then you can see it's processing, so it's starting to work on whatever instruction you gave it. But then you as the operator always can override it. So you have you can pause it, right? You always have the power to just block it and take control. And then when you do that, think about it. If we think, hypothetically, let's say that you are 1% of your brain, just what you think you can do consciously. But think about it, it's so stupid. It's like you're blocking 99% to use 1% because you think you can do better. But that's the thing. Then that's the thing that I learned, because I was constantly trying. So it's weird. For me, a lot of things changed when I stopped thinking about things just constantly. So I would just be like, oh, I'm just going to do this. And then that would be like the instruction, right? The command, let's do this. And then that's it. Then I would not try. I would stop focusing. And by stop focusing, I was better, because it wasn't me who was doing it, because I was trash at it. But who's better at it, so much better, would be my actual brain, and not me. And when I talk about me, I mean me as the operator. So like the person who's sending instructions, because that's kind of like the way I see it, through this like way of seeing. It's just, we just send instructions. We make a plan, we have some goals, whatever, and then we send instructions, and then things are going to happen. It's like by themselves, but it's still part of you. That's the thing. Like, we have such a powerful mechanism. And think about it. You have it, like I have it, Elon Musk has it, your mom has it, everyone has it. So then everyone has it. Some people just know how to use it, and some people, know how to use it in their favor, because everyone is using it anyway. They're just not aware they're using it. And if you research, the lifestyle of rich people, but not necessarily after they were rich, but before, while they were trying, you will see that they were acting basically the same way as if they were already rich, because they were focused in the future on what they wanted to. That's what frightened me. What exactly would that be? So I would say that the first step to so I'm not sure I understand, but you are saying that people are care more about themselves and not about others, because also then you use the word friendship. That is again a very subjective experience. Friendship, it's not something, it's not like a fact. It's like your friendship, your definition could be different from mine and from the neighbor and from your mom. So friendship is very subjective, what that means for the individual. Well, you did, you know, everything you did to yourself because, well, that's how that's how we function. If you think about it, it's like a program. You have a program, you know, and then you run it. Same like, for example, you want to, let's say, learn the piano. Well, you have to install the learn the piano moves and everything, right? But how do we do that? We do it like through practice. And then let's say, no, was a bad example. Something just better would be the bike. Riding a bike, you learn. It's like you install the program, and then you don't open it for 10 years. And you open it, and you just send the command, I need to ride the bike. We need to get from point A to point B. And then who does it? It's not you. Who you just send the instruction. You just want to ride the bike. That's the decision. And then your body is taking care of, you know, keeping your balance and moving your legs and all that coordination. Crazy, right? So it's just like that. You install a program, same as, you know, socializing. um it's the same. Anything is the same way. It's just through some practice. And of course then the other part is that through belief that you can, and just being biased towards I did progress, yay, instead of I did a mistake, I suck, right? Because then it stops your progress. Well, of course people care about themselves. That's that's how it works. If think about, if you might think this would be a stupid example, but um when you eat, like why do you eat? Like you could give it to someone else. So you would be selfish because you could just give it to someone else, and then you could starve and die. And then you're not selfish. So hello, Gino Sunvilla. How is your day? And thank you for joining. And guys, if you have any questions or if you want to talk about, change the topic or whatever, um, we can talk about anything related to health. Or if you have questions, and thank you for the follow, sir. If you have questions about whatever, even you can even ask some of my, you know, personal questions. And well, it depends, but depends of how personal the question is. But I'm a pretty open book, because the thing is, I like to learn from others, and you know, others could learn from me. So Yeah, and I hope the music, I mean, you guys can tell me if you want it like louder or not, because I can easily control it. I hear it well in my headphones in the report with the voice, but yeah, if you have any feedback over anything, just let me know. I think I will change the camera angle a little bit next time. Oh, and about this, um, I will be streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so 3 times a week at 46 minutes ago. It's easier to say like this instead of just an hour PST. And yeah, just look at your clock, take 46 minutes, and then you know, right? So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 46 minutes ago. Easy. Yeah, and I will, for next time, I will actually, well, I have scheduled like a guest, which, because this is how, like, this is gonna work actually. Like, it's not gonna just be me talking to, like this. Um, unless there's like, we decide on something, you know, when the community is gonna grow, and then we have like because this is how I imagine it's gonna be like, and it's gonna happen. I know it. At some point, when the community grows, we're gonna have you know, people suggesting about like a topic, and then other people voting on the topic, and then we can choose something and schedule for, you know, have a schedule in the future, and then we can specifically talk about just one thing, and then people share their experiences and whatnot. And most of it, I want to have it as a guest format, so it would be like the way you see the camera right now. It would be, well, just like a split into kind of two squares instead of one, and then I am talking with someone, and then I learn from that, I mean, we learn from that person, and they learn from, well, that's, it's about like an exchange of knowledge. And topics are just going to be about health, you know, because it's such a complicated, it's such a big topic. Health, it's huge. It's not just eating salads and doing exercise and being positive. That's very simplified. Of course, if we would not be self-interested, if that would not exist, like, we would not exist. Like, imagine people just caring about, I mean, just caring about everyone else. Well, then they would die, right? And wow, what's the point of caring about someone else who is naturally weak? Let's say, if you think of evolution, uh, instead of caring you about, you know, yourself, maybe you're stronger. That's the thing. We have to make some imagination exercises and stop thinking in terms of what we know since we were born and our parents' generation, which is already with technology and displays and buildings and everything. Try to think like thousands of years before, when there was none of this. There were no houses, there were no tools, there was nothing. Like, how did humanity survive like that for so long? So when we think like that, I'm gonna talk, you know, in the future about this. I always like to, you know, make an imagination exercise to the caveman in before, and how it worked, and, you know, natural selection, because that's a thing. And of course, to expand my knowledge on this, I would really, I mean, I have been planning to read the, what is called, the Theory of Evolution by fucking Darwin, but it's not really like a priority right now. You know this the rocks thing that you're telling me actually makes me I remember something which was very useful. So we're just gonna go again in Paint, and I'm gonna full screen this. Just using Paint now because I forgot how to use anything else. Just making full screen. So it was an interesting way to some dude to explain about how do you change a belief, right? And it was, you know, if you have a scale, I don't even know how this looks like. I think it looks like this. And you have something like this. Like think of an old scale. Jesus Christ. I think it looks something like this. I don't remember actually. Let me just look how old scale looks like. Fucking feel like a retard right now. Let's see. Old scale. Yeah, it's kind of like what I drew. Well, something like that. And then here, you know, it can tip on one side or the other. So where is my cursor? Okay, it's so tiny. And then you start putting rocks here. Let's make the rocks, well, red. Why not? And then let's say this is bad. And say, yeah, I'm not gonna change colors because okay, good. And then you have, let's make the rocks purple. And then you have here 1 rock, 2, 3, 4. Well, good bad actually is a bad example. Good bad, because that's subjective. Good bad, it's not like a thing. It's, we made it up. Good bad. So, and then we have here a bunch of rocks. So the point is, where you have more rocks, the balance is gonna tip on that side. But that's the thing. It's never like 100%, because that's the thing. You are not 100% anything. It's always this is like not thinking in binary. This is a huge thing, because we don't want to think in binary thing, like I am introverted therefore I am not extroverted, or the other way around. It's not just that. We are both. It's just that we are more one side. It's not that I am a good person, it's that I am more good of a person than more evil of a person, according to society's standards and what good, bad, and, you know, good, evil, and all that means. But we are always everything. It's just about the quantity, and that's the thing. It's like, just think about the rocks. What do you want to have? Do you want to have, like, let's just say here we have plus and here we have minus. So on the here, whenever we want to become more of this, then we have to become less of, you know, to take rocks from the left, because there's two ways to tip the scale. You can tipping by adding or by removing. So this analogy works for example, when you change your nutrition. First of all, you don't have to change to salads instantly, and, you know, that would be adding rocks on the plus side. But you don't need to add salads, but for example, if you remove drinking juices and trash sodas, then you would take a rock from the bad side, and then therefore, you know, the balance would tip. So the opposite. Yeah, so you become, like, you take more of the bad. So you can improve by becoming aware what you're doing right now and stop doing it. And then maybe you can add something new. But a lot of the today's improvement can just be done by not doing, by stop doing, because there's a lot of things that we do that are not helpful. So really, it's not about what you need to do, it's about what you need to stop doing. So, you know, as we talked, the instructions, we need to be aware of what we are sending, like what, and those are thoughts, right? So that's why you need, like, it helps a lot to be aware of your thoughts, because they are instructions. And when you become aware of your thoughts, of your instructions, then you decide to take control, because that's the thing. think of what you have actually control of. It's just thoughts. It's not that I decided now to raise my hand. I just had a thought of doing that. And then, my body, like my brain controls the body, and then it happens. Rich person donating to a small streamer. Well, we don't know. That's the thing. We don't have to make an assumption because we don't know why. So let's take the case that you're proposing, which would be a rich person. So that means that a person, because now it depends what rich means for you. Probably someone who has more money than you, or let's just assume it's someone who is a millionaire, let's say. Because usually you could say a millionaire is a rich person. So let's say a millionaire, aka rich person, donates to a small streamer. Now, also small streamer, let's just say would be, just to define the terms here, would be a person with less than 10 viewers. Let's just say it's small. And then why he would donate? Well, we don't know. We would have to ask the rich person, because we can never make any assumptions. That's one of the things. We cannot make any assumptions. He could do it because of a million reasons, right? What we think the reason could be, like, we could also find a million reasons, but it might not be the right one. So the correct thing to do is to just ask the person. And then even the answer that you get back might not be the actual answer, because maybe the person doesn't know the actual answer. But again, if we go back to why people do anything, literally, is because to fulfill some need. So then that person, what need could you be fulfilling when you help someone? In this case, you would help the rich person helps like a not so rich person. Maybe he sees potential and then he finds himself in the same position when he had potential, and maybe someone helped him and that's how it blew up or whatever. So it could be like that, but we don't know. And empathy, I don't think it has much to do with empathy, actually. Like this scenario, maybe usually the rich person, maybe they would just want to give back. They would, because I don't know, because I'm not rich, that's the thing. So, and not all people are the same. But or it could be, we could take it like a very different example, and from the outside it would be the same thing. Let's say someone donates I don't know, $10,000 to someone, right? And you would say, oh, rich person, whatever. And then whatever you say after, because objectively what happened is someone donated some amount, a big amount. Well, we consider it's a big amount to someone else. But what comes after would be our own beliefs and interpretation of the thing, because we don't know why he donated that. Maybe he's going to say it. Maybe he's going to mention. Maybe he stole the money. Maybe he made a bank a loan to just do that. Maybe he actually has a lot of money. And now the reasons could be crazy. Like, it could be just doing that so that he can charge back, and then, instead of helping the person, just be a troll. It could be genuine help. It could be so many things. So we never know until we ask people why they did what they did. This is a huge thing that I also used to do, to just assume that we know because of our own definitions of the interpretations, actually, of actions of someone else. Because that's the thing, maybe the other person did an action and doesn't even it's just not aware at all. Like, that they just did that. So I like to always, when you have a question about anything to anyone, just ask the question. And most, the faster you ask, the better. All the time I highly recommend, getting in the habit of just, as soon as you have a doubt about something, or you don't know something, or you're not sure about something, just ask. It's always much better in the long run. You're gonna avoid so many problems by just asking on the spot. Well, if it's appropriate on the spot. If not, maybe it's something more private, and you would want to talk in private with the person in case it's, a public area or whatever. Oh yeah, and water. I have an idea. I haven't implemented it yet, but I will, and you will see it. And I will want people to participate. But basically, it will be just like a way for the viewers and the participants to drink more water, because we need water a lot, and water, nothing else, right? So, I hope it's gonna become a habit to just constantly have, I envision that in the future, when, I don't know, many people are gonna be watching, like hundreds of people, they will have, a bottle of water right here, all the time, with some water, just water, preferably, very highly preferably, filtered water, because it's not expensive at all to just buy a filter for water and have cleaner water. And because it's a lot easier if it's right there. It's like in arm's length. It's so easy to reach. That's why the best place, if you're like a computer user or a gamer, the best place to put it on the right side of your mouse pad, because it, like, your hand just sits near the mouse, so it's basically zero effort. Just make it easier for you to not being lazy to do it. Yeah. So I hope that people will be drinking water. Maybe you right now will maybe I reminded you to drink some water. It could be anything. That's the thing. If it sits there, you don't have to chug on it. You just take one sip and then put it back, and that's great. That's, you did some progress. Well, I would say that all questions are hard, because that's the thing. If we think something is simple, it's probably not. And what that means is that we don't understand the complexity of it, right? So nothing is really, well, this is what my belief is, that nothing is simple. Everything is very complicated. And I'm glad I could, answer some of your questions. And if you guys want to talk about, whatever, something else, or if you have any sort of questions about anything. But yeah, for the next time, for Friday, I have one of my friends will be the guest, and I have to set up the stream and all that, but it's not going to take me too long. And what we're going to talk about, I have no idea. Probably, well, health, of course. What do you think about healthy food being so hard to find? It would be much easier for everyone to eat healthier. Well, that's a huge topic with healthy food. Well, first of all, we have to define what healthy food is. And again, that's not an easy answer, but let's just make it easier for the sake of it. So let's say healthy food would be food that, well, Jesus. Let's just simplify it and just say healthy food would be something that gives you energy and nutrition. I mean, some vitamins, basically nutrition and energy. And the healthy part means that it just helps you do more progress in becoming healthier and not the other way around. So why is it hard to find? Because generally it's more expensive. So actually, and it's also about the supply and demand. I mean, why bother making these companies who try to replace sugar with sweeteners? Like, why do that? Because people don't buy that. So that's why there's like a brand or two, barely anything, and the healthy things are just hard to find because of the supply and demand. And because the people is always the problem. It's never the government or the conspirations or all this shit. It's always the people. It's always the people's fault. It's always our fault. Blaming someone else, it's just such a pointless thing to do ever. In no circumstances it helps. It's useless. So the reason I think people don't eat healthier is because they don't know that it matters. And that's one of the main things that I will be trying to do on this channel, is to make people aware of how important actually caring about it actually is, and like what the benefits are. And to get there, well, there's a process, but the thing is, the more people become aware of the benefits of having a healthier body, physical body, being healthier, because it's not just the way you look and how many your weight and fucking six pack, that just comes as a side effect. Just looking good is a side effect of a healthy lifestyle. That's just what it is. It should never, well, not never, but it shouldn't be the goal, to look good, because then you look good, and then what? What do you think is gonna happen? Everyone is just gonna do what? That's the thing. You have to think a little bit, a lot further ahead than I just want to look good, and yeah, then what? It's doesn't help. So if I can inspire more people to understand, well, you of course you want to survive. that's what everything on this planet is trying to survive. Everything we do is to survive, basically. That's the one of the needs, is we need to survive. So then we have a need for shelter, food, water, which is everything we do is for survival. And you want to look good, I would say you should question that want of yours to look good. Think like further ahead. Imagine you already look good. What do you think is going to change? Do you think your life is going to be magically better? Do you think... I don't think that's what you really want, actually. It's something deeper that you have to dig a little bit and figure out, why do you want to look good? And then you answer that question, and then you put the question why. Why should be like your best friend. The question why should always be your best friend. And everything is going to have the same answer. As you said, you want to survive. That's basically the answer for pretty much, well, everything that's tied to a person, I would say. You just want to survive. But there's always like a need for something. And usually people want to look good. Well, this is like generally. People want to look good because they want to be more attractive towards a partner. So the need they're trying to fulfill is not the need to look good, but it's the need to find a partner. So the looking good part is going to increase attractiveness, which is going to increase the probability of finding a partner to fulfill the finding a partner relationship. I mean, need. Yes. And then why do you even want a partner? So you have to question that too. Like, why do I even want that? And then there's also the need for, connection, for love, and all that, which helps, and also reproduction and all that stuff. but it's never, just that you want something. It's always interesting to just like be like your own therapist. I think that's one of the best things you can do. To just ask questions like, why do you want that? Like, why do you want this? Why do you want that? What about that? Do we really need this? What about that? Why did we buy this? We don't need that. There's so many things that if we question, then we start digging and then we discover what's up. Because once you start digging, then you're going to figure out a lot of the things you don't actually want because you don't even need them, right? And I recently read a book. Yeah, I just finished. It's called Oversubscribed. Really good book. Like, I really like it. I don't recommend it for anything that we are going to talk about because it's not about health. It's about business. It's about strategy and all that. But he said that people buy, well, this is what he believes. I don't fully agree, but I like the idea. He says that the reason, like, people don't buy what they need, they buy what they want, right? So this would be a bit in contradiction with what I just said 2 minutes ago, but it's about buying decisions. So it's like people buy what they want, not what they need. And then he was giving examples with like, why do people buy like an expensive car like a Ferrari? You don't need like a Ferrari because they could just buy any shitty car and it just does the same thing. That's not the fulfilling a need per se. Is that they just want to have that because they can, and maybe they trying to, the need to be socially accepted. So to be socially accepted, they think they need to be showing off, or to flex, right? Because then they think they will be accepted by some sort. That's the thing. And that everything that we do, if we start questioning and we are like, okay, so what did I do today? And then you just start asking, why did I do that? So why did I do these things? Why did I say these things? Why am I talking with these people? Like, why am I even on the stream? Because if you are on the stream, you probably care about your health. Because why else would you be here? I don't know. You could be doing just a lot of other things. But that's the thing. You find a group that you want to become, like, to belong to. So everyone wants to find some sort of a belonging group. It's that need to belong to something, to a group, because survival on the own, if you think you can survive on your own, that is just not how the body was designed. Again, we go back to the caveman. Think about it. That's why the word tribe, because we replaced the word group that we use today with the word tribe. So if you are not part of the tribe, then your survival chances are diminishing crazy. If the tribe repels you, like they push you away from the tribe, then you're on your own. And good luck. Think about it. There's so many. You don't have shelter, you don't have food, you don't know how to do anything. So your survival is just dropped like crazy. And that's why people they noticed that, hey, if I do this and you do that and we don't kill each other, we can survive more. So then, they invented probably language so they can communicate and just very primitive stuff. And then they started making these groups, which we call tribes. And imagine, actually, it's so crazy, when like a tribe would meet another tribe, because they probably wouldn't even like understand that someone else exists besides their group. So like, how shocking would that be? It would be crazy. Oh, George Carlin, dude, I love that guy. He's one of my favorites. So I like it that you like him, because a lot of the things that he says I agree with. And he does comedy, but he's more like of a philosopher that just is also funny. Yeah, but we need groups to survive, and it's about like a deep need, right? Because I used to also, yeah, but I think we're talking about two different things, because I'm saying the need. I understand what you're saying. It's like the same thing with alcohol and drugs, for example. It's like it is this retarded, in my opinion, is retarded thing, that the social belief that if you go to a party or if you hang out, you have to drink alcohol or do drugs, let's say. So then people, the first timers, maybe they tried and they don't like it at all, but they have the need to belong to some group, so they will like not say anything, they'll keep doing it, and then they will be a part of them even though they didn't want to. So then they have adapted to what the group requires to be a part of. But we always have a choice to not join the group, but then you risk, because that's the heavy choice. And I also had to make this choice many years ago, because the choice is, am I going to be myself and be alone, or am I going to be like others but not be alone? So again, this need of belonging to something. And back then I made the choice to just be myself. Like, I didn't care, dude. I remember so clearly going once to a party in the dorm in Denmark, because I lived there for 7 years, and everyone was their beer and all that shit, but I just didn't like the beer. I never liked the taste. I hate the taste. I don't like it. It's like I just don't like it. And not only the taste, also has alcohol, and I don't put that in my body. I don't put poison in my body. And I just went with what I liked, which was chocolate milk. So I was the weird guy that would not drink alcohol and drink drugs, but he would be drinking chocolate milk. So I didn't belong to any group there, because I was the weirdo kid. But I didn't give a fuck. Why would I care? I didn't even care to belong to these people. Why would I want to associate? But that's the thing. People think they don't have a choice. You always have a choice for everything. You always have a choice. Kocho. Yeah. People, they think they don't have a choice, but you always have a choice in what sort of people you want to associate yourself with. But most of the time, it's just about understanding how really, like, the big picture of how the bullshit society beliefs that we have today, which I disagree with a lot of them, and also George Carlin disagreed with a lot of them. And there's always the choice, and I became aware of the choice that I made to be more myself, and just not do what because I didn't have the need to belong with those people. And that's the difference, because people think, oh, if I don't belong to this group, I might not have a chance to belong to any group, so I'm just gonna adapt myself to belong to this group. So that's why they do, just to become part of something. But it depends. I think you're going a bit pessimistic about groups. What if you think about a great group? Think about the perfect people that, in your opinion, the people you would like to have in a group, and then put them in a group. A group is, what was it? 2 people plus is a group. So 3 people minimum. That's a group. You don't have to have a million people, just 3 people. So put yourself and two other people that are great, and then you want to belong to this group, and you, I don't know, help each other, whatever. So it is possible. It doesn't have to be, crazy groups and parties and a lot of people, and it could be very small and great. That's why I personally prefer to have just count my friends on my fingers, just a bunch of them. I don't need a million of them, because for me, friendship means something that I want to invest in, and not just knowing someone's names equals friendship. But this is a very subjective thing, because friendship might mean something else for you. Um, and a lot of the times I don't want to make friends, because then I think, oh, well, it's a commitment, because I want to know the people, all that, and become actual friends, like a relationship type of a connection, not just I know your name, we say hello to each other. Yeah, that's not none of my interest. For me, it's like a waste of time. But yeah, I don't know why, but you seem to have a rather pessimistic view over people being well, because we have to remember what words we used. It's like we use the word fake and selfish and something else. So if you think about these keywords, it's basically like what you say is a manifestation of a bunch of small keywords. So if you think people, it's not thinking necessarily, it's a belief, because it's like thoughts would be every every bike lesson you take is just thoughts, and then the ability to drive the bike would be a belief. So that's why it's a mental practice. It's just practice with your thoughts constantly, and then it's going to create a belief. But some beliefs are easy to change, some beliefs are like hard to change, and also depends on your environment and like so many things, your health, like it's complicated again. So what that's the thing. If I like I can tell you right now that you always have options, like, but that's the thing. First you have to have the awareness to know what you're doing currently. So, and then you have the option of doing the opposite. So if you focus on, or if you think, because thinking is a manifestation of a belief, that's the thing. Because then you would question, like, why do I think people are fake and selfish and something like that? Because these thoughts are not just random, they're a manifestation of some belief that you have. So then if you start questioning it, then you get to something, so you discover more, and then you would like to do the other thing, the opposite, because it doesn't that's a lot of that's also what I'm teaching my mom right now, and it's actually going pretty well. She's doing progress with believing in thoughts, in the power of thoughts, because oh Jesus, there was so much resistance in the beginning. She was like, no, that's wizardry, that's magic, that doesn't make any sense, that's yeah, that's not reality, very heavy resistance. But now she is actively doing things, and I can see that she's doing a lot of progress, and soon, like, this tiny belief, it's gonna grow big. And that's the thing, that this belief is a very, like, a deep one, like a root belief. The lower it is, the more it's gonna affect everything else. And an example I can give with this is for example, a very root belief that all of us have is that you are either a man or a woman. So that's like a very core belief. And people, based on this belief, then everything changes just up the tree. So if you believe you're female, then you are gonna adapt. You're gonna change the way you look. Your habits are gonna change. Like your friends are gonna be different. Your habits, a lot of things are gonna change. Just if you, change the root, one of the root beliefs. So this thing, the belief with the thoughts, like believing that they can change something, that they do something. This is one of the core things, because once you experience that, I mean, you do experience that because that's how it works. I mean, everyone does it. It's just that they're not aware they have control over it. But once you are aware that you have control over it, then you can use it. It's like, just in more childish terms, it's like you always had the superpower that you were using, but it was against you used instead of, for you. So that's why the first step in changing anything, in getting to point B, because everyone is focused. I want to look good, I want to be rich, they just focus so much on point B, where they want to be, that they're not looking at like what's happening right now and what they're doing right now. Because again, we can change the outcome if we change like what we currently do and remove. So that's the thing, it's so much easier than people think to do progress. A lot of the times, especially in the beginning, you just have to stop doing things. It's not about adding more shit, it's about removing the trash. And this would be, well, just to give a few examples to simplify, it would be the remove the sugar, because you have to, you don't want to just say I'll remove soda, because that's just one form of sugar. You want to be more creative, and you want to say I'll remove sugar, because then the next question is what has sugar, and then you're gonna have to be aware what has sugar. And then when you become aware of what has sugar, oh my dude, it's gonna blow your mind that almost every single thing, and all the things that you would not think at all, they have sugar in them, they have. And that's a huge, like, eye-opening thing. The same with television and news, especially bad news. That's another thing that people do that they should stop doing, because it's so much easier to just stop doing something than to just do something else. But we have to become aware of what we are doing and what effect it has, but not today, but in the long run. Well, that's what you believe, that you aren't likely to return to a group. And it might sound like, because I can relate to that, because I've been, most of my life, been the lone wolf. Just that I embraced it, and I saw it as the best thing ever. To be, there's so many benefits to be the lone wolf, if you think about it. But that's where it would help a lot to have the skill of gratitude, because then you understand so many benefits to being a lone wolf. It's it's uh it's great, actually. A lot of the things that you think that are bad, if you focus a lot on them to try to find why they are good, and in your like advantage, you're gonna find reasons. That's the entire point. You will be biased towards finding reasons for that. And well, that's the thing, that for example, your belief is that you aren't likely to return to a group. Well, my belief is that it's your choice. What is this song? Not bad. I believe you can, and it's your choice. That's the thing. Um, so if you have been rejected from a group, that's not, they didn't like, it's not the end of the world, you know, rejection. It, because now we have, it's not like before, like with the tribes, where, think about it, if you would be rejected by the tribe, your chance of survival would be zero, most likely. But now we have options, right? So let's say this group rejects me, group A rejects me, and then that's fine because I have option B. I'm not gonna die, right? I'm not just gonna die. It could have like an emotional impact, but that's the thing. We have to realize we have options. Then we try group B and group C and so on until we find someone uh, who we can, like, we have a choice. It's crazy. Like, if you think about in the times that we live right now, it's some of the, I mean, it is the best possible time in the human history that we know to live. There's the amount of things we can, the fact that we can talk now over like just looking at a bunch of light, that pixels that change, is just crazy, right? It's insane. It's amazing. I think you would be good if you would be aware, I mean, to be aware that you always have options, and that to not have the belief that there's something wrong with you, because I used to have this, to be in this position, so I could say that I understand your position. I don't think it's exactly the same, but you know, when you are not, you are rejected, you are like conditioned by society to think that there's something wrong with you, or if you do a mistake, that you are a mistake, or if you failed once, or if you failed, you know, a bunch of times, that you are a failure. That's the thing, and that's not the case at all. It's just like a filtration system. It's like, oh, this, I guess I'm not for this group, so I'll just keep looking. Oh, not this group either, not this one. Well, let's try more until you find, and then you're gonna find maybe one person, right? And then you're gonna find one more friend, and you have a group because you are three people. Three people. You are three people. So then it's great, and then you can, well, you know, attract more people to you or find others or whatever. Oh well, that's the need for a group. It would be the need for belonging, and then the group would be, you know, the strategy. Well, again, we don't want to, you know, if we are to make on an extreme that lone wolf on this side, and then here some person that's popular or whatever is in a group, we don't want to be really on either side. We just want to be somewhere in the middle. We want to have times when we are just alone and then we can think, be more introverted, you know, and then have times when we are part of a group and just maybe have some more fun. And I myself, I am heavily right now on this um, the more introverted side. So I'm trying to pull towards the middle again, especially with this stream, right? Because think about it, it's like me, an introvert that doesn't really talk to people much, uh, you know, starts streaming. Um, it's not something that, let's say, an introvert would do according to social expectations, but my goal is to become more towards the middle, not to be an extrovert. Sometimes I am like an extrovert if I am in that group that I feel very comfortable in, but I aim for like the middle, you know, have some quiet times, have some, like right now, having some interaction with people, talking, socializing, whatnot. What do you mean by the benefits of either side? The side of like alone versus being in a group, because we were talking about the need to belong to some thing, and that need is again the for survival, because that's the point. That's why from the tribe, if you would not have that need, then your chances of survival would diminish. Right. So that's the thing, because I used to think, I used to believe that I don't need to belong to anyone. But then I started to question this, like, is this really true? I mean, don't you need uh and then if the belief is so strong, you would just try to find arguments just to keep staying there, not changing. Yeah, we don't live, but think about, it's been like barely any time since we suddenly changed to what's happening today versus the caveman. So in the big picture, it's barely being any time. Like the body, didn't change, didn't adapt to the change. Um, so like the how they say, the emotional brain, the limbic brain, the reptile brain, that part, that one didn't change. It maybe our other parts of the brain are better because we learn skills and whatnot, but that part didn't have time to change. So these needs are still there. It's just that it's just harder to discover them. That's what I would say. And it is just a different manifestation, but the needs are there, because that's why, for example, someone like, let me just see here. For example, there is this diagram here. We have Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? And let me put it right here. So these are not changed. These are since like the caveman person, but this is his own opinion. So this like pyramid is not like a fact. But I agree with like most of it, not all of it. And the one at the bottom is more important than the one at the top, and the one at the very top would be like the least important. Yeah, it is great. And you just need like one person really to have a great time and just live a beautiful life. You don't have to. That's the thing. Maybe that's another one of these bullshit societal like social beliefs, is that you have to be popular or some bullshit like that. You have to have 1 million friends to be happy, because they like to push this a lot. And they push it in the form of people who have followers equals happiness, but the other people don't question that. That's not really like, why would that be the case? It's not. So then if we come back to this, we have, well, if we don't have air, we just die in minutes. If we don't have water, we die in like days. If we don't have food, we can maybe last a month or more, depending on how much body fat you have. Shelter, again, you can last a little bit longer. Sleep, you won't last more than a few days. Clothing, well, you can just walk around naked, but then you're like very exposed to this, is very tight with the shelter. And then reproduction, because if you don't, well, it's still the same need, but you see, like today, because we have so many options, this became a lot less important. I don't know when this was created, but it is a useful thing. It doesn't mean this pyramid is a fact. It's just a nice tool to try to relate to and to have a deeper understanding of something. But yeah, I agree, like most of the best times that I can remember were usually just me with one person, me with a friend, or me with a small group of friends that we were just having fun on something, or working on something, or something like that. It doesn't have to be, big. Doesn't have to be big. That's not the point. My goal is not to have that's not what I'm aiming for, thousands of people and millions of subscribers. If that happens, that's fine. That's fine, but that's not the point. That's not what I'm why I'm doing what I'm doing. The point is, if I can just inspire one person, then that's just great, because then that person will could inspire someone else, and then you have a spiral. This person, like a virus spreading, from one person to two, and then it gets up a lot. Yeah, it is, but you don't have to be angry about it. I'm not saying you are, but your feeling about what the others are doing, or how bad society is doing, or all of these things. Because then again, if we come back to awareness, it's we are thinking about what we don't want. Because if you, let's say, find all the reasons to hate humanity, because there's so many, like, it's very easy to do that, but then if you can do that, you also have the other option to find all the reasons to like humanity and love people and all of these things. There's always that side as well, and this would be that balance between being more pessimistic and optimistic. So so you made a video, got millions of views, and then people were telling you you could be famous, and then they were suggesting to you what they would, well, indirectly, what they would do if they would be in your position. So from their perspective, they were trying to help you, but then maybe your resistance was that you don't want to become like that. Because, for example, this is one of the reasons why one of the basic rules with, for example, money, that people who are rich are saying, I'm just transferring the knowledge because I'm not rich, but they're saying that, like, rich people love money, they don't hate the money. So, like, famous people love the fame, but not they just like the fame. That's not the goal. The famous people, the goal is not the fame, and the rich people, the goal is not the money. But a lot of poor people, they just hate money. That's the thing. They think, because the beliefs are transferred when we are young from our parents, from it's like a societal belief, and the societal belief is that money is evil, and only rich people are bad, and anything that has to do with money equals bad, and rich people should donate more, and all this bullshit. If you really think more about it, it's bullshit. And but look at the results. Like, who hates money? Usually poor people. Who loves money? Usually rich people. I think it's easy to see that where we're going with this. It's so if you hate fame, well, you're never gonna get that. And it's like your example, let's say, because I don't know exactly what's going on, but it would be like a person hating money but wins the lottery, that has a lot of money, but because he hates money, like in his mind, he's gonna feel like awful, because he's gonna feel like a fraud. Like, no, because if I have money equals I'm one of those rich bad people. No, bullshit. So, well, that's cute. You have received 100 messages today. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not talking specifically about you, but I was just giving an example that people, about that example, because it seems like you were bothered by what exactly? By the fact that your video was that you could be famous and you don't want to be associated with fame? Because, well, that's what I am getting from you. That you would, even if you could, you would not want to be famous. Because, well, this is my assumption, that you think that famous people are bad, let's say, and you don't want to associate yourself with that. I used to also have something like that, one of these things, and it was about people who waste money. Good. So then you could be, so then you're fine if you would be famous. That's the thing. If you would be fine with that, then why would it bother you? That would be the question. Why would it bother you that people told you your potential? Because to me it sounds like they were just trying to help, but it does sound like a self-projection, what they would do in your situation, and not necessarily that they actually care about you, but you don't know that. That's the thing. A lot of responsibility. Well, that's maybe, it could be. Yeah, of course. But it depends, because you can be famous by not even trying at all. It depends on your strategy with fame and your knowledge of how famous people live. Because if you think, paparazzi are just gonna hunt you down and you're gonna be like the next Billie Eilish, which is very unlikely, there's like kind of different degrees of fame. And it also depends a lot on what you understand through fame and your knowledge about famous people. But fame is never like the goal. Like the famous people that are famous now, they didn't get there because their goal was, okay, well, let's get famous. How do we do it? Some people probably did, and then they reached it and they were famous, and then they were like, now what? I'm famous, but I have nothing to offer, so useless. Well, next stream, I will have my previous flatmate, Michael, and we will talk about whatever. I don't know. But I know I can talk with that guy forever, because we share, like, our paradigms are very, very similar. I mean, we lived together for 2 years, so we learn from each other a lot. So yeah, we're probably gonna talk about, well, obviously health, because there's a point. Health and what we did to improve our health, and how we did it, and what the result and why, and then what we learned from who, what are the sources, how do we do it, what some of the plans of. Yeah, I'll just prepare a bunch of questions and prepare the overlay and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly fine. because it's all about, if I think, oh, you're leaving, okay, well, thanks for chatting, man. And maybe I'll see you on Friday at like 2 hours ago. Friday, look at your clock, 2 hours ago, but Friday. And then I'll have my friend Michael, and there's gonna be more of a more interesting discussion. Thank you, and have a nice day or evening or whatever the time it is. I don't know. Yeah, so oh jeez, it's gonna be so good. So coming back to one question, someone asked about the food. Eating healthier would be generally more expensive. Not necessarily, but generally it is more expensive to eat healthier, because then you have to have a bit of business knowledge. Uh, it's just the ingredients are just more expensive, and this I learned from good cooks, not like people who cook but very good. It's because not necessarily their skill, but their ingredients are just top notch, very good quality ingredients. And since they have good ingredients, then they just use the knowledge and the skills to create, I mean, they apply the recipe, which would be a strategy, and they get the dish at the end. But the dish would be the result. And then the ingredients are what you put in. Because if you put trash ingredients, expired food, then how do you think the dish is going to taste like? It's going to be awful. It's going to be horrible. So it's the same with us as humans. Like, what do you put in yourself? Well, it's going to be very tied with your output. Like, your results are very tied with what you put in your body. And what can you put in your body? Well, you can put food, so nutrition, and then you're gonna put what you see, who you interact with, what you hear, all of these things, your environment, basically. That's why we want to take control over our environment and use it, well, as a way to reach our goals and not against our goals, to have better results. Because if you have better results, then you're gonna function better. And it's never like just one thing. It's always a multitude of things. So it's almost 8 p.m. and I think I will end it at 8 p.m. So like in 6 minutes. But because I know the format of right now, it doesn't make much sense. I am aware of this, that the format of talking to the chat, well, of course, this is very tied with my ability to talk with people with the chat. But in the beginning, I would say what would work best for the stream would be the guest episodes, because then people just join and it's just a discussion and it's like a podcast style. And then if you want to say something, you're just going to say something. You don't have to. But if it's just me talking, then, well, I could just talk about random stuff, but I would be more towards like some sort of interaction. So I know this is gonna happen, but in the future, when the community, like our community, grows a little more, um, then these kinds of streams are gonna make more sense. But right now, well, not so much. Um, but well, it worked for today because that's the thing, you know. You just need one person. But for Friday, for sure, I will fix a bunch of things in the back end, and let me try to change my position actually. Yeah. Jesus. Not bad. Where's the music, man? Yeah. Well, I think I'll close it here, and then I'll see you on Friday. So in 2 days, 2 hours ago. Easier. Uh 2 days, 2 hours ago. Because if I tell you in fucking 6 p.m. PST, you're not gonna remember any of that bullshit. It's just easier in 2 days, 2 hours ago. Or you can check in the Twitch description. You can check. I have like a widget or whatever, a panel from Stream Elements, and there it's like automated. And I set up the streams, and they're gonna be there. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you learned something new. But the thing I hope the most is that now you are like a tiny bit more inclined towards having I don't know, a better, let's say, better awareness of health and whatever we discussed, because it was a bunch of different things. But and that things are not as easy as they seem, or as people seem to make them. They're complicated. It's never like just easy cause and effect. There's a lot of variables all the time. Okay, well, see you in 2 days. 2 days and 2 hours ago. So